Special episode of
Queentuhan!
Carla, Pia, and Bianca, and we are back, and I'm so happy because we really missed all of you. Woohoo! It's been quite a while since we did this. So, P, how are you?
Okay naman. Miss na namin kayo, Queendom. It's been a while since we last did a Queentuhan episode. We've been a bit more focused with our other baby, Between Us Queens. But we're here now, and we're live, by the way, live to. And yeah, we can't wait for today's episode. Ikaw, Mar.
Yes, to our Queendom family, wag kayong magselos. Mahal namin kayong dalawa. Just but yes, unfortunately, we have been a bit more busy between us queens, which I hope you guys are also listening to. I think it's maganda siyang complimentary listening and watching experience, diba? But yeah, we kamusta ba? Well, I hope everyone is taking extra care these days, given the rising number of cases, and I just want to remind everyone to just be careful and stay at home if you can. So there you go. Final message.
And kung gusto nyo panoorin yung previous episodes ng Queentuhan, you can check it out on Spotify and on Pia's YouTube, also on the Tripod Network Facebook page. Between Us Queens, i-follow nyo na kami on Spotify now so that you can listen to our latest episode. And of course, to the Queendom group, hello! Alam namin, matagal na naming utang to sa inyo. So we have a lot of catching up to do in the world of pageantry. At meron tayong pa-contest in our Facebook group. So we're gonna post the photo. This is our Binibining Pilipinas prediction contest dahil nga 1 month na lang and we are gonna meet our new queens. So after this episode, magpo-post kami ng graphic doon. So that will be the official thread for our Binibining Pilipinas prediction game. Ilalagay na rin namin yung scoring system namin doon so that I don't make any mistakes of explaining here on the live. And then our very own auditing group, TTGR and Company, will manually register each entry in a shared Excel sheet. Entries will be submitted until the episode before the coronation night next month. And then i-announce natin yung mga winners in the episode after the coronation night next month. So watch out for this thread kasi meron na yung mga special prizes for the winners, which is specially prepared for all of you from our queendom. So yay! Sali na kayo! Rowan,
super duper exciting!
And sa for more chances of winning, i-predict nyo na yung top 25 all the way until yung winners nyo. So yung 4 na crown na mapapanalunan sa Binibining Pilipinas.
So parang each category, if you get it right, you get a chance to win. Ganon? Ganon ba yan?
May points. So kumukuha mo, kung tama yung 4 na crown mo, 40 points na yon, ganon. So yeah, ilalagay natin yung scoring system in the Facebook group.
This is like the pageant version of like yung mga fantasy league na mga basketball.
I-draft nyo na yung faves nyo. Yeah.
All right, super exciting. I'm excited to see kung how it'll turn out. And of course, everyone, please stay until the very end of this episode because, as you can see, we are partnered with the Converse All-Stars and we will be giving away as prizes 4 pairs of Converse shoes. Woo! So we are going to give away 3 pairs of Converse Chuck 70. So if you guys are following us on our social media accounts, we actually posted the silhouette of that photo. But our grand prize winner will actually receive the little doodle, the customized Queentuhan shoe.
A closer look at our work of art.
Oh my God.
We all took turns. Pinasa-pasa talaga namin tong pair na to and we all drew on it. So, ayan.
Ayan. Pakita natin. Who did what? Para makita niyo kung sino yung pinakamagaling. Kasi,
okay. Ito si Pia. I drew the crown. Mar through the stars.
And the little planets.
Tapos, and then ito, yung pusa, ako, yung Shih Tzu si Mar, at pizza.
All the
Ayan.
things we love.
No, ipapadala rin namin, like, whoever wins, we'll also send you the marker that we used. Parang pwede mo rin,
Dagdagan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it will be a collaboration, of yours and us. Parang collaboration with the queens, yung magiging sapatos na yan. So yeah, that is a Converse Chuck 70 parchment high cut. Although yung problema lang natin, of course, dun sa first 3 winners, we will be able to send the shoe in your size. But dito sa grand prize natin, dahil drinawingan nga muna namin, unfortunately, isang size lang yung available, which is females 7 or women 7, and then men's men's 7 and women's 9 siya.
Yes.
So, unfortunately, yun lang yung mabibigay naming size. But, maybe kung hindi kasya sa'yo, you have a sister, brother, someone that you want to give it to. Or, pwede mo lang naman siya i-display. Oo, you don't have to wear it. Maraming sneakerhead dyan na hindi nila sinusuot yung mga sapatos nila.
Ayun,
You can
sabi
be
nga
one
ni
of them.
Rowan, box na lang for display.
Ayan. So, how will you get the chance to win these prizes? So, if you can tune on pa, we're gonna give a question. And then, throughout the show, we want you guys to answer that question in the comment section. So, magtitingin-tingin kami sa comment section. We're gonna check out your answers. And then at the end of the episode, we will announce our top 4 entries. And then one of those top 4 entries will receive the grand prize. So ayan, don't go anywhere so that you can find out what the question is. So you can answer the question and find out who the winner is. All right. So here we go. As usual, we want to start off our episode with the royal roll call. And we just want to say hi to our super active members of the Queendom. Yung tipong post pa rin sila ng post kahit medyo matagal na kami wala sa online life nyo dito sa Queentuhan. So I want to say hi and thank you to Ken Vicente Laureno, Edith Marquez, Mike Herrera, and Trisha.
I also want to say hi to Christopher Mako, always active on my stream also. Hi to Chardy Santiago, Mama Tony, and of course to Kim Kibu.
Also, we want to say happy birthday to Macpol Hermoso. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
We also want to give a shout out to Rowan Santa Maria, who's very active in the Queendom. And we would like to acknowledge Mr. Nissan Joseph. He's the CEO of MAP or MAP Active Philippines or Converse PH, who is watching us live right now. Hi! RV. Hi, RV. At your And a big shout out to everyone from the Converse Philippines All-Star community. The members are watching tonight. We're live. Hello, guys. Big shout out to you. And dahil nga live tayo, everyone on watching on YouTube and listening to Spotify. Hello, guys. We're on Facebook now, live on YouTube, and then eventually it'll be uploaded on Spotify. But we are live. So hello, guys. Kumusta?
Yes, hello. So thank you again for everyone who is here joining us. And so today's episode is all about breaking barriers. As we can see recently in the international pageant world, there has been the rise of representation and recognition for women who are actually traditionally marginalized, like women with diverse body types, women who are members of the LGBTQIA plus community, and of course, prominently recently, women of color. So like si Zuzubini Tunzi, our current Miss Universe, I think she made a huge splash when she won because she was so natural with her short natural curly hair, her beautiful skin tone, and just fighting to be there as a representative to those who usually can't find themselves in, mass media. Sino pa ba yung mga ibang prominent beauty queens ngayon?
Yeah,
Uh,
I also know. I just to jump off from what you said, Mar. Also because Demi was also from South Africa, right? And so
yeah.
and so parang and then South Africa won again, and but then they're completely different. But then they're both from South Africa, which is amazing.
Exactly.
And that's also why it's very much celebrated. We also have Angela Ponce.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Who was the first trans woman to compete in Miss Universe. So as you can see, it's really women of different backgrounds, different cultures, and it's not just that one stereotypical kind of beauty and image anymore. And
And
today,
even
yeah.
even body types, because also
Oh
Emma
yeah.
Loney, who we saw compete in Miss Earth, and she was actually top 12 Miss Earth USA, and then now she's competing in Miss USA. So yeah, I completely agree more. Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. It's fine. Hindi, tama ka. And it's super duper exciting. But of course, it's not easy to get where they are today. So for today's episode, we want to share to you guys, the barriers that we experience personally, not just in pageantry, but in everyday life. And
Yes.
so I think the main goal really of this episode is to figure out what can we do to promote inclusivity, diba? So here is the grand prize question, or our Quintuhan
Oh.
fanfare question. Okay, are you guys listening? Again, answer in the comment section. All right, so how do you think we can unite and do our part to fight injustice and inequality in our community? Oh, diba?
So this
Wait,
time,
Ayan
kaya
na.
I'll give you the question here at the start. So you have time to
Yes.
compose your answers. You have the whole show because we'll be choosing at the end pa. So ngayon pa lang,
Exactly.
mag-reflect na kayo, isipin nyo, yun nga, the answer to the question, and then please leave it in the comment section. We will be announcing our winners at the very, very end of today's discussion.
Ayan. And don't worry, again, dito pa unahan, you guys can even wait for, our discussion. Baka may mas masulat pa kayo na mas maganda, di ba? But yes,
Yes.
we will be choosing at the end of our episode. All right, so to help us in today's topic of breaking barriers, we invited some guests. Carla, who are they?
Yes. Yes, I'm so happy because today's episode is in collaboration with Converse Philippines, and we have the Converse All-Star team with us. Of course, the Converse All-Star team is a group of emerging leaders from all over the world who are here to create waves and promote sustainability, diversity, and inclusivity.
So, to help us with our discussion, we invited two of my fellow Converse All Stars, host and transformation coach Danielle Mortel, and radio DJ and human rights activist Dora Dorado.
Woo! Here they are. Ayan. Oh, wait. Wala pa. Sorry. Ayan.
Ayan.
What is up? Hi
Welcome,
guys.
welcome.
Hello, I'm Danny. Hello
Hi.
everyone. Good
Hello,
evening.
Danny.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us, Danny. And here comes Dora.
Hi! Kanina pa ako nakapost. Parang
Na-traffic ka.
Napagod na yung...
tapos na ba?
welcome.
Hi. Thank you for having us. It's great to be
Yeah.
here.
Oh, thank you so much for being here, guys. And I'm so excited to, talk to you guys about, this topic. So, I want to ask, I don't want this to be an interview na kayo yung guest, kami mag-interview sa inyo. Gusto ko mag-usap-usap lang tayo, diba? So ako, I want to ask, have you guys, what is your experiences here in the Philippines of inequality? What would you say?
Ano, Danny?
Hello, Dora. Go, Dora.
Okay, sige, I'll go first. You know what, to put it into a perspective lang, kasi I can be a hetero passing man on the street. So I am very less likely to get attacked, to get harassed, to get robbed, to get catcalled. So to say na, oh my god, I super experience inequality todo compared to women is medyo distasteful, right? So I want to put it in a lens that I personally experience. In the gay community kasi, I'm sorry, in the gay community kasi, there's a lot of femme shaming and body shaming. Yun yung medyo mas prominent in the gay community. Like we would think na parang the discrimination that happens from like the traditional community to the LGBT community, yun yung nag-exist. But there's more going on inside, more than externally. So, medyo yun yung inequality. Like, growing up with like Tinder and Grindr and all these dating apps na you're first judged by how you look and how you speak, how you act. It's super prominent na they don't like femmes, they don't like people with non-conventional body types, ganyan. And we've parang yung manifestation of inequality in the gay community is that you tend to correlate love and likeness with parang being physically like. Kaya that's yung inequality more. Yung parang bigla tayong sumeryoso lahat. Tara lahat kayo. Sige laga. Tara.
Grabe si Dora eh.
Sorry.
Yeah, actually, nagsulat talaga ako ng script para ayun. So that's more of how I experience inequality. But, you know, from a woman's perspective, I think it's more, I would even say violent in a way. So, yun. Yeah, that's me.
Nice. What about you, Danny? How would you say, how have you experienced inequality in our society?
Inequality, probably, more of discrimination in terms of my skin color. Because I started doing commercials at a very young age. But before doing commercials, I was actually very passionate about football. As in, gusto ko talaga to represent the Philippines. In England, ganyan, gusto ko maging coach, football coach, and stuff like that. But I had to choose between that, my passion, and, you know, being successful as a commercial model. Yun, parang I had to make a choice. And I think being a young girl and being in the middle of both things, two things that you're equally passionate about naman, because of your physical appearance, more specifically your skin tone, your skin color. I was dark skinned. I am dark skinned because nga of football, diba? And I love playing football. Yun yung na-realize ko na, shocks, I can't continue both. I have to choose, and it was very hard for me. Pero as Dora said a while ago, as he mentioned, it's not as if like I'm oppressed na parang iba yun eh, iba yung oppression eh. It's just a matter of like being stuck in a rut where you're like, oh, I want to do this but I can't because the industry states that I can't be successful because, you know, I have to be white, I have to be fair in order to be a successful commercial model. Yun yung for me, yun yung start nung na-realize ko na, shocks, meron palang discrimination kahit dito sa Pilipinas na dapat naman talaga morena tayong lahat. You know what I mean? So there, that's what I experienced naman.
Yeah, I super agree with that. I guess in a way, you know, what you're saying, like colorism, diba? Parang being judged by how white you are or by how dark you are. It's something that we all experience as Filipinos. I think all of us, even in the comment section, I think a lot of people would share an experience na they were either limited or judged just because of the color of their skin. I think one of the things with pageantry, like in our experience, there is such a thing pa na parang, oh, if you're gonna do Miss Universe, kailangan dark skin ka, super tan ka. Pero kung Miss International yung gusto mo, oh, you have to be white, you have to be super white kasi yan yung gusto yun ng mga Hapon.
Yes.
So parang, it seems, like you said, it's not exactly oppression, but it is a form, it's still a form of, you having to adjust so that you can fit what perspective other people will have of you. When the skin tone doesn't me being tanner doesn't make me a better Miss Universe than a Miss International, or
Right.
it doesn't
Yeah.
work like that.
Mm-mm.
Um, kayo, Carla, have you experienced any inequality during in the pageant scene or maybe in your life?
I think not so much in the pageant scene. The only thing that I can think of was that because I was an athlete when I first joined. So medyo, I mean, like my body type is different as
Mm-mm.
compared to the girls who normally join pageants. So when I went to the screening and I didn't really know what was going on, it was my first time. And then someone told me that maybe like now is not the time for me to join because if itabi na ako sa ibang girls, parang magmumukha akong balyena. And then I
Mm.
was so
Oh my
shocked because
gosh.
imagine like I was really young and wala pa masyadong sense of self because I joined pageantry when I was still in college. So I was just super surprised at the comment because like what gives you the right to tell me that about my body and to say that this is something that I can't do. So
Mm-mm.
I went to the bathroom, umiyak ako because I couldn't like accept that comment. But then I won. So like, but I still had that person in my head. I was like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous standard that I'm happy pageantry is slowly growing out of. My steps,
Mm-hmm.
but there's still a really long way to go.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. What about you, P? You've been
Um,
everywhere in the world.
so when I was starting out in showbiz when I was very young, um, I mean, this is like what Danny and Dora mentioned. Hindi naman to parang oppressed ka or kawawang kawawa ka. But I had trouble like sort of how I present myself kasi I have a foreign sounding last name. Even though I look Pinay, I have a foreign sounding last name. So I had to change my name when I was doing showbiz when I was starting out. So I wasn't Pia Wurtzbach then. I was Pia Romero because Wurtzbach wasn't Pinoy. So parang, pero naman, okay. Tapos nung nag-pageant naman ako, I was to ganun pa rin. Parang, uy, kung gusto mo maging Miss Universe, kailangan Pinay ka. So, we gotta dye your hair. We gotta tan your skin and that. So, parang, baliktad naman kami ni Danny na parang kung ano yung na-experience na parang fini-favor yung fair skin girl. Sa akin naman, well, us in pageants, we know that baliktad naman, fini-favor yung morena or yun yung iniisip natin na right pick to become the representative. Itong weird. When I was in, when I was, because I also lived in the UK for a few years. That's the first time I ever experienced racism naman. Iba namang level yun. Hindi lang yun na dahil hindi mo lang gusto yung skin tone ko or yung body type ko or na babae ako, ayaw mo sa akin kasi Asian ako. Parang doon ko naman na-experience yun. So I guess I wouldn't say that I experience inequality sa pageants. Okay, body shaming ang mas na-experience ko sa pageants. Kasi like Carla, hindi rin naman ako yung typical na built na, skinny frame, petite, ganyan. Ano ako medyo curvy ako eh. So,
Yes.
and it took me a while also to find my, to be confident in my own skin. Pero, I used to think that, back home, hindi naman tayo, parang accepting tayo sa iba-ibang mga culture, sa iba-ibang mga races, sa iba-ibang skin color. Pero nung napunta na rin ako sa ibang bansa, na-realize ko na, wow, may mga problema din pala tayo sa Pilipinas. Ano din pala tayo, ano din pala tayo, meron ding inequality talaga dito. So, yun. That would be,
Actually, the reason why I asked all of this is because I don't think racism is something that a lot of Filipinos would say na we have in our country or that we experience. But I think sa mga nakwento nga natin, especially when it comes to, having to look Filipina enough over to foreigner, I think we don't realize that these are, manifestations of racism in our society. Okay, what do you guys think? Do you think that there is racism here in the Philippines, or OA lang? Or nakikigaya lang ba tayo sa Amerika? Kasi there are arguments, people have arguments about that online. What are your thoughts about it? Ikaw, Dora, you're a human rights activist. I'm sure this is something that that you kind of look at in our society.
Yeah, I think with racism, I think it's much more prominent in Western countries than us. Because unlike the Western, lalo na the United States, the colonizers stayed there. They didn't leave. With us, kasi they did colonize us. They ingrained the culture in us.
Yeah.
But then they left. So now, parang majority of the Philippines is Filipinos. So parang there's not much power play there to have like prominent racism. I do think we have colorism, we have classism, even in our law we have classism. I think we do discriminate by religion. We discriminate by body size, but then racism, it's not extremely prominent here compared to other countries.
I agree. I guess not the same flavor of racism that we
Yeah.
see in, let's say, in Western countries. Tayo, I think we're very light about it. Kasi sa totoo lang, I must say my grandma can be a bit, not politically correct, and I think a lot of Filipino grandmas could be said the same. Na they really tend to avoid people with darker skin tones.
Right.
I think, sorry. Also here in the Philippines, what I realized, it's not just about racism na like the African American, like the racism that African American people in the U.S. experience. Here naman, it's more of if you look different, then you are treated different, and sometimes there are pros and then pros and cons to that treatment. I don't know.
Well,
I think
that came that sorry I
Go
cut
ahead.
you off. Pero I think
Please.
that was the discussion also when Easy Mill released yung song niya, and then he was like I antisoy, and then he was saying something about being treated different because he was white and he looked different. But for me lang, you can't compare that experience to someone who is dark and curly haired
I
in our
understand.
society. It's two different animals.
Yeah.
You can be treated differently, but you won't be pushed around for it. You won't be bullied for it. So I think yung colorism pa rin is mas close siya to what
Prevalent, yeah.
racism is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
feel
what
like
Dora
there's
said.
also I feel like there's also like a lack of knowledge. Since yun nga, parang we feel like it's distant. This is something happening not here in the Philippines. So when yun nga, parang there are a lot of people who are not politically correct when they encounter someone who looks different from them. And I guess like mas nararamdaman ko siya because I work in the PBA. So we have players from many different races. And then sometimes like when things get heated, there are times na may masasabi yung fan or may masasabi ang fellow player that is quite ignorant. But I don't feel like it stems from like hate. I feel like it stems from ignorance and how much of an impact those terms make on the people around them. So feeling ko lang maybe we feel like it's distant, but it's something that we have to be open to learning about. Kasi, like, yun nga, like a very specific yung example ko. And another example that I can think about is I do online gaming, and I feel like a lot of Filipinos are really racist against other Asians.
Yeah.
I hear,
What do you play? What games do you play?
I play Warzone, COD
Oh,
Warzone.
Oh.
okay, cool,
What do you play?
I play League and Valorant.
Oh my gosh.
League! Oh my
Let's
god,
play
we have to
League.
play!
Wow.
Yes, vacation, we have to
Gamer.
play League. Yeah. No, diba? Okay, so I'm so happy because Valorant, okay, is a game that I have experienced it in, and then I don't get it. Like Asians are racist against other Asians, and they use terms that are super racist
Yeah.
in gaming. So these are my personal experiences kasi yun nga yung mga environment that I'm usually in.
Yeah. I agree. I would have to say, like, growing up, so school, for example, and then you have classmates whose last names are different. For example, Chinese, Filipino Chinese, diba? And then you'd hear your classmates say, ay, ano ka eh, ganito ka, ganyan ka, kasingkit ka, ganon. Yung mga asara ng mga bata na parang sa atin, parang iniisip natin. It's part of it. Like, it's just, normal kid stuff. But we don't realize that it's actually racism. Another thing, I watched a YouTube video parang a few weeks ago, and then they were talking about colorism and racism in the Philippines. But they said this guy pointed out, we have, di ba, Negros Occidental, Negros Oriental here in the Philippines. Who named that? The Spaniards in history, di ba? Syempre, dati pa yon. Parang if you look at it that way daw, the root of that is racism because yung mga tao daw dun sa place na yon are dark-skinned. So if you look at it that way, then that is racism. But for us, it's already part of us. It's already part of our geography. It's literally a name of an island, right? So wala lang sa atin yun. So parang I agree with what Carla said also na it's distant. It's like it's something that we kind of grew up with. If you guys know what I mean, like parang hindi na siya. Nobody taught us na, hey, you're racist because you're saying you're bullying your other classmates and stuff like that, diba?
Yeah, I feel like kasi naiisip natin na, I mean, a lot of people, when they hear racism, they automatically think na, oh, you don't like black people.
Yeah.
Yun lang. Pero parang, wait a minute, maraming klaseng racism and it can manifest in so many different ways. Pwedeng, sa Pilipinas na lang, wag nating i-compare sa US or whatever. Sa Pilipinas na lang, how do we joke and how do we, treat other people? Pakinggan nyo yung mga jokes nyo sa isa't isa. Alam mo yun? Minsan, wag na tayong lumayo. Yung mga taga-probinsya, okay, maybe they look like you, but they have an accent when they speak. Parang kunyari, malalaman mo na tag-Bisaya siya. Or malalaman mo na taga-Mindanao sila. Tapos isipin mo right away, oh, baka ibang religion, ganyan, iba yung religion. Or alam mo yun, or even with like yun yung na-mention ni Danny, yung wala tuloy ako sa sasabihin ko. Ano sasabihin ko eh. Huwag na tayong lumayo yung sa Pilipinas na lang, yung pagkataga-probinsya ka, iba yung accent mo, or kaya hindi man tayo, sige, kasi we don't have we have, but it's not, mas maraming mga Filipino-Chinese or mga Chinese dito, di ba? Sa Philippines. So,
yes.
Kasi inisip natin racism, hindi naman ako galit sa black people. Pero, you make jokes about, Filipino Chinese? Do you make jokes about Chinese people? What about Indian people? Parang, yun yung paboritong, asarin ng mga Pinoy. Di ba?
Exactly.
Hindi lahat, pero most.
Tama ka. I think Filipino racism comes out as jokes a lot of the time. Kasi parang pinapasa natin na, joke lang naman eh. Like, it's so, we often hear terms like kana, chekwa. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm so sorry.
Magandang marinig yung example. Kasi parang sabihin na, hindi naman bad yung word na yun Parang, sabihin mo ba, ito na naman rule. Would you say it in front of the person?
Exactly.
Diba?
Yeah.
Wala lang.
We say that in 5-6 and Bombay. That's our terms for another one. Yeah.
Exactly. And puro pa joke. But then we don't realize na it's just because it's a joke in your eyes, it means that, that other person will laugh. And I guess it's not, it's not just here in the Philippines. I lived in another country. I lived in Brazil for a bit. And one of the things that I experienced, and I didn't think it would get to me, but they started calling me Japa. Kasi Japanese daw. So everywhere I went, the Brazilians would be like, ooh, Japa, hey, Japa, what's up, Japa? And I kept saying, I'm not Japanese, I'm Filipino. And, again, I have nothing against the Japanese, but it's insulting then. It's insulting to be called a certain race when I'm proud to be Filipina. I want to tell people that I'm Filipina, and I don't appreciate it when people assume my race. But then when I'm
Mhm.
here in the Philippines naman, ayaw nila maniwala na Pilipina ako. I'm not
Right.
Yeah.
Filipina enough naman for them. Masyado naman
Right.
akong, I'm not Asian enough for them. So, minsan, yun din eh, it's like, in this day and age when globalization is abound, we get to travel to different countries. We get to fall in love with people of different races. And pero nasa stuck pa rin tayo sa identity of having to be one thing or the other. Na again, in pageantry, one of the issues is hindi naman siya mukhang Pilipina, or um Liza Soberano being, said that she isn't Filipina enough because of how she looks. I think that is racism as well. I don't know. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on this.
I'm looking at the comment section and people are asking, ano ba yung difference ng racism and colorism?
Ayan.
Ooh.
I think. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Dora. No, I think.
Sorry.
Go ahead, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay. I wanna. For me, it's just. I think colorism is a type of racism. Kasi I think people are so scared with the word racist and racism that they always connote it to this big, oh my God, what did you do thing, or you're so prejudiced. But, racism, it's all levels, every level. What do you think, Dora?
I think with racism and colorism, I do think they're connected, no? They're intertwined
Okay.
together. Pero lang with colorism, I think, lalo na here in the Philippines, we relate it so much with beauty and intelligence.
Yeah.
Na, like, we have billboards on EDSA na will say, whiter is better. Ako, naging victim rin ako when I was a kid, I used to use yung Perla, yung soap. Na
Yes, the
I used
orange
that on
soap.
my skin. Kasi
Oh
sabi
my
ko,
God.
this will make me... Yeah, I did. Kasi parang white was the thing, diba? You have to be white para you get to be accepted in your friend group. Dapat maputi ka. So yeah, I do think they're intertwined. I just think regionally, iba lang yung manifestation ng racism and colorism here.
Got it.
And also, wait lang. So just before I forget, with the thing with parang racism and mga social issues like this are very distant. It's because, well, if I'm going to be very anal, if you think very hard, everything can be related to classism, right?
Yeah.
Pero I think lang, it's not really the fault then of the mass of Filipino. Because if we're going to be real,
Yeah.
most of the mass of Filipino are poor and they do not
Yes.
have access to these kinds of conversations and talks and discourse. Kasi how will you think about colorism and racism if you're thinking about what to eat the next day? You don't have time for
Exactly.
that. Yeah, so
get
parang I don't want to say they're ignorant. I don't want to say they're hateful. I just want to say they haven't experienced it. They haven't accessed it yet. Parang ganun.
Yes.
Tama. They have limited access due to the opportunities and the time spent,
Yeah.
and the resources available. I get that for sure.
Before we move forward, I just want to give out the question again because mahaba daw yung fanfare question natin. So just for everyone who's tuning in now, if you want to win the sneakers, the question is, how can we unite and do our part to fight injustice and inequality in our community?
Yan. Kasi we're here not just to complain. We're also here to find a way to make the world better. Trust.
There's so much to learn. That's
World
why I was
peace.
really excited for this. Kasi ako, I know, personally, parang ang dami ko pang ring kailangang matutunan. So,
Yeah.
Can I just insert really quickly?
Yeah.
Racism kasi it's systematic. So kumbaga may discrimination in terms of the law also.
Yes.
And social norms, that's why
Yes.
it's a specific group of people that has to fight this, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just us darker skinned Filipinas who mas specific yun. Parang colorism kasi, it's like we're assuming, or we understand, or we were brought up to think na if you have lighter skin, you have privilege. Kumbaga,
Yes.
you can be more successful, like what we see on the
Yes.
ads. You
Yeah.
can be more mayaman, or you're automatically more mayaman than the darker
Mm-hmm.
skinned people.
Mm-hmm.
Yun. So yun siya. It's more systematic. Racism is more systematic than, parang colorism kasi just parang a root nun is more a smaller group. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the main difference between the two.
I get it. Like colorism is really more about uh percep I guess
And
like I said,
physical.
perception, physical
Mm-mm.
perception. Yung tipong when you look at someone who's darker, here in the Philippines especially, what do you think? Criminality, poor personal hygiene, low social status,
Yes.
things like that. Na sobrang so far apart from reality, and I think, but with racism, like you said, it is more institutionalized. And I guess with colorism, let's say, I guess that's one a manifestation na rin ng internalized racism.
Yes.
Yung
Yes.
tipong yung colonial mentality natin na anything Western must be
Mhm.
better than,
Yes.
what we have here
Yeah.
in the Philippines or what we have here in Asia. Ang hirap din tanggalin nun. Again, also in this day and age, ang dami pa rin mga tao who really, sadly see us Filipinos as a lower kind of society.
Yeah.
It's
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 Yeah.
really shocking. Like when we read stories. Ako personally, I just want to share that my sister-in-law lives in LA, and she was walking with my nephew who was young. He was just 10, I think, at the time, and then they just parked like in a random street to get coffee, and then they were attacked by someone like saying, telling my nephew who was a child, na what are you? What are you even like? Are you an animal? Ganon. As in, super like blatant. So, do we have to wait for an experience like that for us to move, for us to use our platform to be able to raise information about this, I guess, to be able to open this conversation? Parang, I don't know. I get it. Like, a lot of people don't have time for this. Pero parang, paano nga ba natin to mas matututunan?
Yeah.
tama. Tama.
Did you also
Um,
notice that we like to ask each other sa Philippines kung taga saan ka? Na
Yeah.
parang, di ba, yung parang, okay, kung taga-probinsya ko, ano naman? Or is it because of the way I speak? Like, meron ba akong accent? May ginamit ba akong words na hindi mo usually gamit? Kasi we have so many dialects, di ba? And then part na ng conversation yun when you meet someone, yun yung parang, taga saan kayo? Parang,
Yeah.
be from the same country? Like, why like, di ba? And then automatically, pagka sinabi mo na, probinsya yan. Or minsan pa nga, pag Mindanao, alam mo yung parang,
Yes.
taga Mindanao. Alam mo yung parang, andun na. Doon na nagsisimula. Kahit, to those who are able to, travel and go abroad, may experience nyo yan in one way or another. And it sucks. But it
Yeah.
also here at home. Hindi lang natin talaga napapansin kasi parang naging normal na siya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I swear, na-bring up na rin yung Western mentality natin, yung Western superiority mentality natin. And I think, this is all like a result of colonization, of 333 years of colonization. Na parang we feel like we're such a small country, but we're the 13th biggest population in the world. We're bigger than North and South Korea combined. Mindanao alone is bigger than Ireland. We are a really big country. Even sa map, even the world map, it depicts us as a very small country.
Yeah.
Pero we're a really big country, and we're bigger than we think we are. And a lot of people aren't ready for decolonization because it's super ingrained na in us. Pero I think that's the key for like progressing the next few years, is to decolonize talaga.
Grabe. That's such a big ask, I think, because,
Yeah, it is.
it is kasi we also take pride in how Western we are. Eh.
Right.
Yes.
You,
Yeah,
you
I
get what I
agree.
mean?
I agree
it's all
completely.
confusing.
Yeah.
Parang look at us. Ang galing namin mag-English, diba? We're so much better than the other Asian countries. And I mean,
Oh my
um,
gosh.
it's great. It's great that we have, such a prolific second or third language. It is an advantage, but it doesn't make us better than other
It
countries,
doesn't.
I don't
Yeah.
think. And
Mm.
we have to be careful about these things. But yeah, grabe. This is such an exciting topic. And what you said, Dora, like we have to decolonize our minds. How do you think we can go about doing that? What do you think are the steps that
Oh my God, this
us
is
Filipinos should
this
take?
is extremely thin ice.
Oh gosh. Dora, I got you. Wait.
I think sorry, I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna I'm gonna apologize. I think Catholicism has pushed us way back. The way that we are the biggest Catholic country in Southeast Asia is a big thing. I mean, I grew up Catholic. I grew up in an all Catholic school. I took what I needed and left. Gets what resonated with me, what I think was good for me, I left.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I think with racism, I think a lot of systemic problems also root from being blindly religious. I have nothing wrong. Practice what you want. I really
Yeah.
don't care.
No, no.
But like
Totally respect that.
a lot of the systems and a lot of the power dynamics that religion has imposed on us really had great manifestation in our lawmaking. It
Yes.
gets brought up lagi when it's not even needed. It gets brought up, and it's the so to put this like in a personal note, it's the only standing argument against the Soji bill, and nagka-separation of church and state pa tayo, and we
I
can't
know.
really
I was just gonna
separate it.
say.
We can't really separate it because we are a very Catholic country, and I think the pushback from that is holding us back.
Well, definitely the government. Well, the church holds a lot of power
Yes.
in our government, and in the perception kasi of the people. That's why the church has so much power because the people really listen to the church. So wow, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. Next, okay. Okay.
Parang ako
Ikaw,
nag-ice
Danny.
skating.
Woo.
Natay ako malaglag.
Ikaw, Danny, I wanted to ask you naman, as a woman and as a Filipina who is, of a darker skin tone, how has your experiences affected you in terms of colorism? And what do you think are the next steps that we should do
Well,
to
it's wow.
rise above it?
Parang, wait lang, nasa stage ata tayo ng Dora.
Oo nga eh.
Hindi ako wala tayong training katulad nitong mga queen na to. Woo! Grabe pala to. Yeah, joking. But, no, kasi my experiences growing up, parang, I mean, also having a big sister who's, fairer skinned. And, 8 years older than me siya, si ate. So, iniisip ko, kung ano si ate, yun din dapat ako. So, anything na hindi siya, ibig sabihin, I can't be that. I can't be darker skinned. I can't be, I can't because she's my sister. I need to follow her footsteps. So, yun yung naging parang na-engrave siya sa utak ko na I have to do everything that my sister does. But I think that's where the problem started. Babalik tayo sa self-love, Dora. Hindi, kasi, hindi, pero totoo kasi parang if you don't know who you truly are, if you don't give yourself that space to, find out who you truly are, then you won't be able to challenge, for example, the industry, the society. Like, if I hadn't known that asset ko tong balat ko, hindi ko challenge yung commercial industry. I would have just said yes to everything. I would have just said yes to, uy, pwede bang brighten mo pa yung ilaw? Ang dilim eh. I would have said yes to that. But now that I know that truly this is me and this is, I'm very proud to be who I am and of course, number one, my color, my skin. Then I can easily say no to that. I'm not scared of being rejected just because. It's no longer a limitation for me. diba? So I think that's the next step. Actually, it's not the next step. It's the first step, I would
Got
say.
it.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I thank you. I said it in front of queens. I love it.
Ang ganda. That's really good advice. I think a lot of people will be able to like apply that to their own situations also.
Definitely, definitely. And I guess one last question for all of us. Kasi syempre, Queentuhan is a pageant podcast slash show. And I just want to take this opportunity. I asked both Dora and Danny if they were avid pageant fans or if they followed pageantry. And they said they did, but just very casually. And I'm just very curious kasi, how do you think the pageant world or pageantry could actually help promote or play a role in promoting inclusivity? What do you guys think? Do you think pageantry has a role, or is it too much of an archaic system for you? I mean, di kami ma-offend or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
I just really want to know.
Yeah, we're very curious to know from people not in the... Kasi kaming tatlo, syempre, we're very much in the pageant circle already.
Yes.
But coming from the two of you and completely like from another perspective, do you
Exactly.
think we're doing enough?
Or what do you wish we could
I-
do?
Syempre, nagbasa-basa naman ako onte before ako sumali. Onti lang. I saw this pageant in, Negros Occidental, I think. Yun yung nag-pageant sila ng walang makeup.
Oo.
Right?
Oo.
Yeah,
Meron.
and I was like, well, that's interesting. But what I didn't like lang, I understood the movement, the intention. What I didn't like was how they sold it, na parang this is quote-unquote true beauty and this is, right? So parang ako, wait, if you're gonna talk about true beauty will be like kung paano mo gusto i-interpret yung beauty, right? And
Tama.
Yes.
makeup is not a problem at all.
Right.
So parang ako with pageants, and I would say pageants and politics, because inclusivity, racism, everything, that all of those are politics. So pageants and politics, I think beauty queens and everyone who is in the pageant conversation really have like a big role to play. Kasi even with our current now, si Rabia, diba, she was under fire a couple of weeks ago. With, I don't want to say the other girl's name because
Yes.
hindi siya
Don't.
charing. Yeah. No.
Not allowed here.
She who shall not be named. Yes. Grabe yung ikot ng balita, grabe yung conversations on it because she was a beauty queen. And I think the power that beauty queens hold can really change how the ball rolls. Lalo na we're approaching 2022 and now is like the most crucial time to speak up and use your platform no matter how small it is. Yeah.
Believe.
Ayan. Do I say
Thank
and I
you.
thank you also?
Let's go.
Yes.
Say it.
And I thank you.
Ito naman.
Queen. Yeah, I agree. I agree with what Dora said. Grabe yung platforms niyo kasi. And,
Yeah.
I think you all know how much of a responsibility it is to be queens. Diba? Like, I mean, you join, before joining even, you already know what it would be like to be crowned, for example. Or maybe not winning a crown, meron na ring responsibility, right? So it's just a matter of using the platforms. Queen or not queen, like literally or with the title, we all have a responsibility to use our platforms, diba? So meron ng ganon. But in terms of pageantry, kasi I have my uncles love pageant, talagang inaabangan nila yan, may mga group chats talaga na ito si ganito, talagang sinuscrutinize sila every single detail. And talaga na open talaga yung world ko sa ganon at a very young age, you know what I mean? I think hit or miss siya for me. Hit or miss siya because if you try to talk about this, for example, this issue that's super huge, for example, and then you say something that not everybody agrees with, edi miss na agad siya. If you don't talk about this super big issue, then people will say, why aren't you talking about it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So parang nasa limbo kayo na.
Yes.
Yeah, parang you're stuck in like, oh, what should we do? But I think you have the upper hand in terms of like setting where you're supposed to be, or like, you know, leading these conversations, which you are already doing now. So I think meron at meron pa ring magagawa talaga sa pageant industry.
Yung
Ayan.
advice na binigay mo kanina actually, Danny, dun sa like about knowing yourself is very important for the girls who are about to compete pa lang. Kasi nga, yun nga, parang to figure your way out of that limbo, you have to know what you stand for. Para paninindigan mo. Like you really have concrete opinions about things that people will ask you once you have that crown or even while you're competing. So that's just something very important. Parang kung if the organizations all over the world might be outdated pa, marami pang pageants who, you know, aren't as inclusive as others, siguro like responsibility na rin ng girls to come in and bring more to that stage and show that it's more than just how you look. It's so much more than that.
Definitely. And of course, you know, pageant fans as well. I always tend to remind pageant fans na malaki din yung responsibility sa kanila. Not just us queens, but the fans as well. Kasi, you know, a lot of hate can come from the fans. And a lot of, you know, infighting and negativity can come from the fans. So again, it's also the responsibility of the whole pageant community, organizers, beauty queens, fans, supporters, to really cultivate a culture of inclusivity. Kasi alam naman natin na minsan ikaw yung nakaranas nung problema, ikaw yung nakaranas nung harassment, ikaw nakaranas nung injustice. It's hard to speak out, especially if you feel like you're alone, if you feel like, you know, you don't have enough power to say something about it. So that's why it's so important now we have allies, you know, to speak out, to help, to give us, you know, our, you know, a little bit of encouragement, to give us, to lend us some of their courage as well. Because it's so much easier to fight for something when you know that you're not alone and that there are people behind you who got, you know, who's fighting for the same thing as well. So ako, I would love for the pageant community to just, in their own little way, you know, put nuggets of, you know, inclusivity, put nuggets of education. Let's say, sa family mo, may nakita siyang beauty queen, tas di niya bet yung itsura, and then may masabi siya about the skin tone of the girl in a negative light. Pwede mo naman sabihin, alam mo, maybe that's not the right thing to say. You know, small actions like that in your own community, I think really will create such a big difference. And overall, hopefully, create this environment that is safer for the beauty queens to stand up for what they want, for something that's hard. So yeah. Grabe, bigat. Chos. Na-stress ako. But I guess these are topics kasi na kailangan talaga natin pag-usapan. Kasi pag hindi natin pinag-usapan, it just gets worse. Like with any problem that you don't face head on and you just sweep under the rug, it never gets better. It just festers. So I'm so thankful for, you know, Dora and Danny, for you guys, that you're here talking about this very difficult topic with us and opening the minds of, you know, Filipinos and and you know, the pageant fans on the different perspectives. And siguro, before we go, I guess, do you guys have any last thoughts or final words that you would like to share to everyone?
Ako na muna. Ako, let's just take care of each other. In our close circles, let's just be responsible with each other. Let's be accountable, and just let's be kind and love each other more. And yeah, yun. Kasi parang kindness is such a luxury na in this world, and it's free. So yeah, let's just be kinder. Yun lang. Thank you for having me here. Sobrang salamat.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Me naman, wherever you are, wherever you think you're gonna be, wherever you were yesterday, I think it's nice to remember that it's gonna be good. I always say that it's really something that I always say to my clients, to my friends, to my family, to my followers. It's always gonna be good. I mean, yun nga, if you're living life passionately and compassionately, I think it's a great thing to spread also. Goodness, kindness, love, all that. Alam nyo na yan. Kaya natin to, guys. Kaya natin to. Ito na, mahirap na, scary times, but it's gonna be good. I believe and I manifest. And thank you, Queens, for having us. We enjoyed this conversation, and
Yes.
I hope that we shared some bits of our brains today.
Oh yes,
Thank you.
definitely. You guys are definitely helping, the Queentuhan community break down barriers, and we're gonna do it all together. So thank you
Yes.
so.
Yes.
Sorry,
Thank you.
last na.
Yes.
Singit ko lang. Reminder for everyone who hasn't registered to vote yet. We have
Yes.
6 months left to register, and we want to hit 6 million new registrants for the 2022 elections. Doesn't matter who your party is, doesn't matter who you want to vote for. Just please register because your voice matters. Yun lang. Thank
love
you.
that.
Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for that, Dora.
That's amazing. That's perfect reminder, definitely. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming here on the show. And in the end, it's definitely about, sometimes we're too focused on what makes us all different, when in actuality there are more things that make us, that we have in common than what we have that makes us different. And if we just remember that, I think it would be easier to treat people with less fear and more love, and a lot more kindness. Yun lang. And yeah, thank you so much to the All-Stars. They are the change makers of our society right now. So we will be looking out sa next projects nyo and everything that you do. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Salamat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
So much for doing this with us. Thank you.
Thank you also.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dora. Thank you, Danny.
Ayan. That was so good. All right. So I heard that some people are asking about the contest. Ano na kayo?
Yeah.
Di na kayo mapaghintay? O, ito na.
Oh wait. Yeah. So again, like, I don't know kung may hahabol pa, but I'll just give out the question one last time.
Okay.
How can we unite and do our part to fight injustice and inequality in our community?
Ayan.
Guys, were you able to choose your winners? Because the conversation was pretty intense. Kasi parang
It
sabi
was.
ko,
No, I wasn't able to keep track of. So okay, what happens ba? Pagka nag-offline ba tayo, nawawala din yung comments nila? It stays.
No. Actually, like, that's what I wanted to say. I think that we should really go through all the answers that we got.
Yeah.
I'm asking now, our beloved producer, we're extending the contest until tonight, 12 midnight. So you can keep on commenting your answers. Kung hindi nyo pa naiisip yung sagot nyo, then you still have time. Comment on the Tripod Network live video or on PS YouTube. And then, dadaanan namin yan lahat. And then we will announce the winners in the Queendom group.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
We're so sorry kasi akala ko like we can see all the comments pero nakakat pala siya. So yung mga earlier answers hindi na namin kita. And syempre we want to be fair to everyone who joined this contest. Kaya meron na pili.
Ay, meron na pala.
Dami kong sinabi. Sige guys.
Okay.
Exit na ako.
Sorry guys, live kasi tayo. So, syempre, diba, nagkakaroon ng mistakes pag live.
Ito. Okay. Erase. Take two.
Erase. Ayan. Sige.
Guys. Okay,
So
okay,
una,
okay.
ayan, una ang gawin natin is let's read the 4 entries first. And then we're gonna show a video by Converse while we deliberate which one of the 4 entries will win the grand prize of the doodle shoe. I keep saying doodle shoe because I feel like it's so
The
cute.
doodle
Doodle shoe.
shoe.
Okay. So, okay, first entry. Papa. Ito. I'll read. Nasaan na yun? Okay. Oh my gosh, wait lang. Live kasi guys, wait lang. Ito. From Tony Polines. Answer. We need to promote gender equality. We need engaged on diversity, especially in our workplace. Volunteer on some causes or advocacies or charity events regarding this cause. Be an ally. Be human. Ayun. Yan ang first entry
Ganda.
natin.
Be
Gusto ko
an
yun.
ally, be human. I really like that. That's
Ang
really
ganda
good
nga.
advice.
Mhm.
Okay, so our other winner is Danica Dakigan. Sabi ni Danica, pageantry will play a big role in fighting racism. Dito natin mapapakita na kahit ganito ang kulay natin, kaya nating lumaban.
Wow.
And then, our next winner,
Ayan,
Sorry.
winner 3.
naglo-load. Guys, kaya kami nakatingin sa
Naglo-load.
phone namin kasi nandito yung winners.
Sorry.
Ito yung problema sa live, guys. Pero hindi, gusto kasi namin, malaman nyo agad kung nanalo kayo. So, we can make
Oo.
sure that we can send the shoes right away at ma-enjoy nyo na siya
Yes.
kaagad. Kasi kung hindi, baka suotin ko na lang. Just. Mine na lang. Okay, we have our third winner. Si Ingrid Makatangay. All right, we have Ingrid's entry is, I believe that unity to fight injustice and inequality starts from our individual selves. Ignorance to these social matters, especially to people like me who have access to the internet, is somehow upsetting since information and even news are already out there. We only need to filter and fact check what we take and share. Each of us can do our part by educating ourselves as the first step of our collective effort to stand up with the masses who experience discrimination almost every day. In this day and age, diversity and inclusivity are what actually matters. So let's flaunt our own interpretation of beauty, hype other assets with respects, of course, and hopefully we can create a safe space to even become that safe space and break these barriers. Wow! Ang haba nun.
Ang ganda.
Ang ganda.
Mabilis mag-essay writing.
Exactly.
Very, very good answer. So we have Ingrid and then we have Danica. We just want to say that unfortunately, like, we can't open this contest internationally, so our winner has to be local. Mama Tony, we love your answer though.
Sorry. But yes. So we have 1, 2, 3. And do we have
Raymond? Raymond Science is our second winner. Third na pala. Sorry, hindi na ako marunong.
fourth na to, Ben?
Hindi, third pa lang.
Ay, okay, got it.
So,
Sorry.
in the UK.
Oo
Yeah.
nga pala.
Ito, Raymond said, promote gender equality and fight for justice. And we must educate ourselves, our family, and the people in our community about the importance of not disregarding the injustice and inequality in our country. And I thank you.
Bam. Sweet. Short and sweet and beautiful. All right, so that's entry number 3, and entry number 4 is dun, 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 dun. Sorry, waiting pa. Sorry guys ha, pero malapit na. Maganda naman yung shoes, worth it.
Checkahan muna tayo, guys.
Ayan. Actually, apat tayo. Yes.
Yeah.
And ayan. Okay, so honestly, grabe yung topic natin today. I think inequality is it's an issue that we all face. I think
Yeah.
whatever brings you down. Kasi ang inequality really is about judging people and putting people aside and not recognizing their worth just because of one thing or another. And I think that's universal. Kahit hindi natin sabihin na, this is racism and this is masochistic, this is anti-feminist, whatever. These labels, I think at the end of the day, is just treat human beings like human beings. Treat someone, if you can treat a stranger like someone that you know and love all the time, I think it would be better. That you might not know that person, but someone loves that person.
Yes.
Someone respects that person. So we should do that too. Ayan.
I agree with you.
Ayan.
Also is kasi sometimes when I know that this show Queentuhan, we cater to a lot of pageant fans, right? And I mean guys, sa totoo lang, minsan hindi na natin napipigilan yung sarili natin sa sobrang support natin sa isang candidate. Kung ano-ano na lang ang ibabato natin dun sa mga kalaban niya. Minsan
Totoo.
naging personal, tungkol sa personal na buhay niya, minsan naman nagiging sobrang below the belt because it's about where she's from, what the color of her skin is, how she does her hair, her weight, her body, ganyan, taga saan siya, anong bansa yan, ganyan. We should, it's 2021. We should really stop that. And I
Exactly.
also, at Miss Universe or even at Binibini,
Yeah.
lagi natin pinag-uusapan, to be united and to accept everybody for how they are. But then I would like to see the fans do that too. I would really love to see the fans really absorb and understand and apply the lessons that beauty queens try to teach you over and over and over again. Hindi lang to sagot sa Q&A. Hindi lang to advocacy para manalo. These are real messages that we're sending out to you because we want you to be our messenger and just, create a ripple of effect.
Yes. Of positivity, trust, ripple effect of positivity. But but really, kasi how can we change, a system when we can't get people to change their mindsets in the beginning, So anyways,
Guys, sorry,
Okay,
you guys
go.
have so
Ayan.
many good
Ito na.
things, but we were just, nagkakagulo kami kasi nga live kami ngayon and we were trying to organize the winners. Okay, so the winner number 1, correct, Danica Dakigan.
Yes.
Winner number 2, Raymond Science.
Yes.
Winner number 3 is Ingrid Makatangay. And our grand winner of the Doodle Shoe, wait, kukunin ko lang siya ulit, is Mama Tony.
Yes! Congratulations! All right.
Leah, I know that you also have an upcoming thing with Converse.
Yes. So I'm so happy that I'm working with Converse again for another campaign this year. I'm doing the All-Stars. I'm going to be with the All-Stars. And we're going to break barriers for equality. So I'm really happy to be part of Converse again for another year to do this campaign. So thank you, Converse! Thank you,
Army! Converse, thank you so much also for giving us this opportunity because today's episode was great. We loved having this conversation and hopefully it also opens up the conversation to our viewers and it helps a lot of other people start their journey towards understanding and tulad nga ng sabi ng ating grand winner Mama Tony, being human towards each other. So thank you so much for giving us this platform to break barriers.
Yes, and thank you, Converse, for trusting us to talk about breaking barriers, for trusting with you also. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And before we go, we would like to show this video para lang na bago tayo umalis, pampa good vibes at pampa inspire, and so that we can try to see how we can bring out or share the message of equality. So here is a video from Converse. Trixie, are we ready? Are we?
And restricted access to public buildings.
Cut the track. Let's run it back to a time when All-Stars took the stage. Hold that. Let's take a look at where we're at. The world's been scorched, the earth torched, living in crisis mode in a system that's broken, lives are torn, eyes open. Where is the light that transforms? Man, cut the track. Why bring it back? Because in the midst of injustice, All-Stars turn the world into their canvas, paint the wind just for practice, and give color to madness. With ambitions loud and dreams in the clouds, they jump out of your screen and into every scene. This is our team. All-Stars.
Ang ganda.
Ayan.
I got goosebumps with the
Ang
award.
ganda.
Wow.
Diba? One more. May
Yeah.
one more video pa. One more video.
Let's do it. I love this
Bam.
campaign. It's
I
beautiful.
love it. Yeah, it's really so nice.
Congratulations, Converse. Congratulations, Pete.
Congratulations, Converse. Super exciting.
All right.
That
Super
wraps up-
duper exciting. And
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that. wraps up
Sorry,
today's episode. No, go more. Go ahead.
actually, I was gonna say that too, but yeah, it does. But yeah, go ahead, Carla. You do it.
No, before we go, we just want to give a big shout out to our superwoman producer, Trixie, who is celebrating her birthday tomorrow. So, sa Queentuhan community, the Queendom, please show Trixie some love because it's her birthday
Happy
tomorrow.
Trixie,
Happy
I-
birthday!
We
that
love
runs this show that you don't see her, but she's
Yeah.
the one who runs this whole thing. So
Yeah.
yes.
We wouldn't know what to do without her. She is basically the only reason why we survive all this technological stuff. Like, kung wala siya, hindi namin alam kung ano gagawin namin. So, thank you, Trixie. We love you so much. Please enjoy your birthday. At least tapos na yung trabaho ngayon. Pwede ka na mag-relax. I love you so
Yes.
much.
Stop bothering me now.
So-
Happy birthday. And by the way, before we go to our winners, please don't forget to send a message to the Tripod Network Facebook page with your name, contact number, delivery address, and shoe size to be able to claim your prize. So, mag-message kayo. Now na.
Now.
And don't forget to follow us on Spotify. Listen to Between Us Queens on Spotify, guys. Help us get the top 5. And
Yes.
Queentuhan, follow both.
Yes, of course. And don't forget to join the Queentuhan Facebook group for exclusive content, to interact with us, and to know kung kailan yung mga next episodes namin.
Yeah, so thank you so much and see you in the next episode of Queentuhan on March 23. So hindi na namin kayo papahintayin pa. We'll be back on March 23, guys. That's next week,
Sabi,
right? That's
babawi
next week?
kami. Babawi kami. March 23 and March 30. Oh! Sunod-sunod yan. All right. Queen Dom, thank you so much for joining us. This has been the Queentuhan and Converse All-Stars episode about breaking down barriers. We will see all of you next week.
Bye, guys!